Last week, I sat down to do a quickfire of questions about my practice of teaching. This week, I'm taking on the challenge to try to make some sense of my questions and narrow them down into one wicked problem. Originally, I came up with tons of questions, some relating to each other and some not. Some even just sounded like complaints. So, where to start? How would I narrow these questions down? After reading Warren Berger's chapter about why, what if, and how questioning from his book called A More Beautiful Question, I was convinced. He explained how the logic in this sequence reflects how people tend to approach and work through the problems, progressing from becoming aware of and understanding the problem to thinking of possible solutions to trying to enact those solutions. This sounded like a great place to start. So I organized my questions into why, what if, and how. I found that I had about an even number of each, with some questions still left over. I was also able to change some questions into why, what ifs, or hows, and they still grasp the same question. Berger would be proud. After reorganizing my questions and seeing them in a different light, I started to realize my questions sure sounded grumpy, and I thought to myself, why? This led me to my next grouping, organizing my questions by point of view. What is from my point of view, my students' point of view, my colleagues, or teachers in general? This was particularly hard to organize, since I felt like most questions involved myself and my students, but they ultimately came down to me. I realized how many questions relied on me. Why was I making this about me? This led me to a new question. Why don't I ask for help? I then organized my questions by closed questions and open questions. I was shocked to see how many closed questions I had, but then again, some of my closed questions weren't really closed at all. I finally decided to look back at my groupings and ask myself two more questions. Which questions were most prevalent in all three groupings? And which questions resonate with me the most? I narrowed it down to, how can I make more time for thinking, questioning, play, while still following the curriculum? How can I extend the kindergarten learning experience? And how can I teach my students to listen and value their peers' thinking? I'm excited to continue my question journey. Here we go.